Stephen Jones joins us now to talk about all the things. And a good afternoon, Stephen. How the heck are you?
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing?
Well, we're doing wonderful. Everything's ahead of the team, so that does wonders for our mood. Do you guys feel like if you win out one way or another, you'd probably get in?
We just feel like we got one hell of a chance. If obviously we do have to have help. We're not naive to that, but just feel that if we could get to that point and we could win out, we're going to give ourselves a great opportunity.
What do you think the things are you need to do well or get cleaned up from the Detroit game in order to give yourself a chance to do that?
I think the biggest thing is we've got to, from the last game, we ended up settling for a lot of field goals. I think, we need to get touchdowns. I mean, that's why Detroit got the best of us, is they were getting touchdowns and we were getting field goals. So that's important. I think we got to get back to running the football better. We stuck to the run, but we didn't get any explosives, which we have been, for most of the year. And so that's going to be real important against this Minnesota defense in particular. And, don't get in situations where you're behind the chains. And then defensively, we got to get back to getting pressures and stopping the run. And I think we've got a good plan to do that. And so feel really good about it. And then on special teams, we've, we had an off game there as well. We got beaten all three phases by Detroit and gave up way too much field position in that game, especially against a good team on the road like Detroit, who's explosive on offense. You can't win the game like that. And certainly we've, got to be better at that in terms of the special teams.
Yeah. What is the key there on kickoff coverage? Is that coaching or changing personnel? What needs to change there?
I think it's everything. I mean, it's when something doesn't go right, I think the way we look at it around here is it's top to bottom. Whether it's whether it's the organization, the coaches, or the players, we got to be better. And I think we got personnel that can get the job done, and just got to play hard. I mean, we'd played 4 games in 17 days, and that's no excuses. But we just got to play faster with an identity and execute and hold ourselves to a high standard.
Stephen, Trayvon Diggs told the local beat a little while ago that he's healthy, he's ready to play, and he expects to play. Do you expect him to play on Sunday?
Yeah, we're going to make that decision tomorrow. We have another day of work, and I think Coach Schottenheimer's been real clear, as Coach Eberflus, in terms of evaluating the full body of work for the week and make that decision tomorrow.
And then with Nate Thomas, does it look like he's probably going to be starting in place of Tyler Guyton again since he's still dealing with that ankle?
Certainly looks that way at this point. And the good news is Nate had a great week of practice, as did Adeniji, but feel like Nate is certainly rebounded. We didn't play our best in the offensive line against the Lions. We got to get that back to the standard we expect, and fully expect that to happen.
So with Trayvon's practice window scheduled to close next Sunday, are you 100% sure he will at some point return this year?
Yeah, I feel like he will, but obviously, there's a certain standard that Coach Schottenheimer and his staff are, looking at with him, and certainly for him to play the type of defense we want him to play and play the corner position the way we want him to play it, he needs to be out there practicing, which he has been, and be diligent in the meetings and have good practices.
How about when it comes to Overshown? Are we ready to just sort of unleash him, no more pitch counts? And would you like to see him get back to more blitzing like he was so successful doing last year?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. His pitch count window is over now, and fully expect him, to play the full body of work. And obviously what that'll entail, we'll certainly get a good picture of it on Sunday, but feel good about what we have in the game plan for him.
Stephen Jones here with you on The Fan. How about your scoreboard watching plans for Sunday? I like what Dak said. He said he's going to root against the Eagles regardless, whether they're in this position or not.
I think he's got unanimous support in the building for that.
Has there ever been a more desperate move than a positivity inflatable rabbit? Like, how much did you personally laugh at that, Stephen? A positivity rabbit in the locker room. I mean, that's ultimate desperation.
Hey, we've got to worry about ourselves. I can't be judging what others are doing, but I'm snickering, I guess.
How would you describe what it's like to watch a game with you, Steve? And I noticed Hard Knocks had a little bit of you and Jerry, and at the start of the game, you guys are sitting next to each other. By the end of it, you're on opposite ends of the row.
Yeah, you move around. We're superstitious, and certainly you get antsy as the thing closes down in terms of, as you get into that fourth quarter where it's about to, you've done all the maneuvering and it's time to see where you're going to end up. But no, I'd say I'm pretty, pretty even keel in terms of taking it in. But I will say, obviously get nervous anxiety and move around and walk around and pace and end up where I kind of end up. And I think Jerry's got a lot of that in him as well.
Behind-the-scenes content is just so gold for the fans. Do you enjoy watching it too?
I actually enjoy it. I do. I like seeing, seeing it from a different perspective, if you will. That was a little bit was my take on the docuseries as well. It was entertaining because, everybody has a different take in terms of what that was like in the docuseries, and certainly seeing, a consolidated 2 or 3, 4 weeks of the NFC East is interesting too.
Speaking of that docuseries, the way that it was positioned and titled as your dad being the gambler, I guess this is looking forward. We're hoping for the best for 2025. But we've been talking this year about, is the gambler back? Is the Pickens, is the Quinnen Williams, is there more aggression that Jerry was talking about that led to those early championships? Is that present and maybe coming up in the future of 2026?
Yeah, I think if money were the issue, that you wouldn't have to worry about that. I think the bigger thing is just there's no question we had a little bit of a conundrum, if you will, trying to figure out how we were going to handle CD, Dak, and obviously Micah. But, I think now we're a lot more dialed in terms of, hey, and here's what it's going to be. Here's what we're going to have in these areas, and feel good about where we are.
Well, speaking of trades, Logan Wilson, you made the move for him at the deadline. I think the fans, there's just been a swell of, can we get more Logan Wilson on the field? Do you think that's something that they'll be able to look forward to on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we're obviously monitoring that, and they'll make the decision according to the full body of work this week in terms of how they spread out the reps, and we'll see kind of where we end up tomorrow afternoon in terms of how we're going to start the game, and then, of course, how we're going to play the games in terms of the reps for each one of those guys.
What's the work week been like for George Pickens this week, and how confident are we that we're going to have a bounce back on Sunday?
Oh, well, I have a complete confidence in George. He's been great, had a great week of practice. I think everybody did. I think everybody got their legs back under him on this mini bye, if you will, and ready to go back to work.
Fun story with Phillip Rivers getting back in the league, Stephen, after he was retired for 5 years. Has there ever been a situation where you were pursuing a player and trying to get him out of retirement to come play back for the Cowboys?
Not off the top of my head. Doesn't mean there wasn't one, but I don't really have one off the top of our head that I can lean back on. But I certainly see, how it can happen. Coaches have players that they have had before, that might dial back on. I will say this: I don't know that I've known one where they've, been out of the game for 4 or 5 years and then are considering it. A lot of guys start and sit out for a year sometimes, and then get enticed back at the end of that year or enticed back a year later. But no, this is a unique one. But if anyone can do it, Phillip Rivers is a consummate competitor. I see that, and obviously he's won a lot of football games in this league. So it's part of what makes the NFL, or seeing these type of stories, like the Phillip Rivers story is going to unfold in Indy. That'll be real interesting.
So much time has passed now, but was there ever a chance that Tony Romo could have come back in the first couple years post-retirement for him?
A lot of times these guys have, retire, whether it's a Troy, to some degree Tony too, just because of health. It's just whether it's backs or whatever it is, and it's just, difficult to keep going. And, this is a physical game, and, I don't necessarily know that Tony was ever, being that he jumped right into the booth, was ever really thinking about thinking about it that much. I know Troy got enticed a little bit along the way, but decided against it. But, those are interesting things. And, especially this day and time, you do have quarterbacks like Brady, like Stafford, who are playing, well into their late 30s and doing it at a high level. So it's certainly not something that is not possible. So, like I said, this will be interesting to see how it plays out.
Sure looks like Dak's playing at a high level here, coming up on 34. Does he have another 5-6 years in him?
Hey, I wouldn't bet against Dak at anything. He's so driven to compete and to succeed and lead, and he's a driven man. And certainly, we're fortunate to have him. And like I said, I'm sure Dak will do it on his terms if I'm betting. And he's one of those guys, just like Stafford and Brady, that I think just keeps getting better.
Jake Ferguson going to be okay with that calf?
I think we're going to be good. He had a good day today, which was what we were looking for, and barring a setback tomorrow, or having any type of any type of something that happens after practice, I fully expect right now. Expectation is for him to go.
Right on. Well, give him hell Sunday night. We'll be pulling for you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good weekend.